Well, hello, fellow traveler. We are here to dive into the cardinal energy to figure out what we need to do to alchemize any sort of compromising factors that may be in play. We are moving through kind of a challenging landscape around this time. There's a lot of action going down, and it's all heading in reverse, and it's whipping a bunch of themes from 2018 back around the bend. So it should be interesting. We got a chance to start again, okay? It's a nice day for a white wedding. Interesting. That came in out of nowhere. Well, there are themes of love in the main frame. There might be somebody who wants to start again. That's possible for that to come in. We're going to open up with a collective read first, and then we'll dive into individual sign reads for each of the cardinal signs. Those being Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, and Libra. But first, we want to open up with just a general energy signature, because no matter what our sign is, even if we don't have a strong cardinal placement, we're affected by these energies in play right now. So we're going to work with the Arcane BS deck because, I don't know, that just feels like the vibe I got with the cardinal signs right now. Things feel like they're a little bit out there, and also you're all the way in, despite it being a little bit out there. That's how it's coming through. And let's talk about the astrology in play right now that is having the cardinal signs at the center point. We, of course, have Venus, Libra's ruler, headed on into Scorpio, and it came in with a square Pluto in Aquarius aspect. So we know that that's challenging. You know, nobody puts baby in a corner. Venus doesn't want to be in a box, man, especially when it's a box that's underground, okay? There is something here about really that journey that comes through with a lot of the goddess archetypes of going down into the underworld to do that dance with the devil, to integrate the different soul aspects that have been cast into the shadow and call them back into the light. So you can rise up again in a new form, stronger than you were before. And absolutely that energy is in play when we're looking at the rebirth of Venus rolling out here. That is in the process. The mother's belly is swelling, but it's not time to be brought into the delivery room just yet. We also have Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, okay? It's going to stay in Cancer. It's not going to move into another sign, but there is a little bit of going back over old ground and looking at some very foundational matters, certainly in relation to our roots, our family dynamics, our feelings of safety, security, what we call home, what do we feel would create a sense of belonging for us. Where have we felt that that was missing? And also just the desire to move into a lighter, brighter, more hopeful cycle in relation to all of that. But there are some needs to be addressed here. There are some holes in a particular theory. There's some weak spots that need to be strengthened, and so that's why there's the need to really do a little bit of a retrospective to make sure we're prepared to move into the expansion and blessings that are on offer. We also got Saturn retrograde, so Capricorn is really ushering in that energy, really helping us batten down the hatches, figure out where we need to get a tune-up, where do we need to put in reinforcements to be prepared for sailing ahead. Is our vessel sound, okay? Vessel being the vehicle you're moving forward in, of course. Vessel being your physical vessel as well, looking a lot at the health and getting routines in place that support the strength of the journey ahead, because you know, if you're not fit, then there's going to be a lot compromised. I do feel like there is some expenditure of effort coming in here, but cardinal signs are very familiar with this kind of territory. So I think the cardinal signs will help us culled that down. Certainly if you have a strong cardinal placement, this is nothing new to you. So you're familiar with this. You've been seasoned for this. You were made for this, cardinal signs. And probably, I think, the most impactful retrograde action we have going on right now in terms of the cardinal signs is Chiron retrograde, because that's been in Aries. And so that does deal with the deepest wound of the self. We know that what's happening at this point is quite cathartic, and it's a very integrated process that got set in motion a long time ago, but it is coming to a culmination point. And that's a beautiful thing, okay? So let's see what we got here as an opening energy. This energy is for the collective as a whole, though, so it doesn't matter what sign you are moving through this territory. You are influenced by these planetary motions, and so you can gain something from this. All right, let's see what we got here. Basis of the matter. Oh, yes. Okay, so there is a decision to be made here. There's something you do need to make up your mind about, but I feel like you're really going to get your coordinates at this time. There's going to be a clear way forward. You may have thought that you had to choose between one of two options. You may have been in a position where you were sort of like, I don't know, what do I need to do? Do I need to pull one of those options out of a hat? Do I need to Rochambeau? Do I need to toss a coin? I mean, it might have gotten to that point where you could have made yourself feel almost paralyzed to make a choice, make some kind of step in a direction, any direction, knowing, I think, that whatever direction you choose, it's one of those things where you can't really be half in with this. You got to be all the way in. And I think that's where there was the internal conflict here. Feeling really divided, but I do feel like you are getting your GPS system on lock. And when I say GPS, I mean your guiding pineal gland system on lock. There's something that's coming on board here that's hatching a new vision for your future. And whatever this is, it clears all of that sort of weighing things out off the table. And there is this clear understanding that I don't have to choose either or. There's actually another option here that I was not seeing at all. And so I do feel like you're moving into this energy. You're finding a way through something that's been very complicated. And whatever it is, it's unburdening your mind. For the first time in a long time, you're seeing new possibilities. You don't feel as stressed out as you were. And I think this is good. So if you're still in this place where you feel like you're trying to figure things out, you might decide to just deal with what's in your immediate environment, what's going down right now. Okay, I'm going to water where I'm at. I'm not going to think about things that are outside my immediate sphere of influence, and let's see what happens when I do that. And you might be surprised how that opens your eyes to a different perspective or a different way forward than you were really considering before. This is good. And I do feel like there will be some kind of culmination point with this, but it's something that is not just reliant on your rational brain and what you can intellectualize. And it's also not just about throwing caution to the wind and just entering into fantasy land either. There's a fusion of these two aspects of your consciousness that's coming through to help you align with where you're meant to be. And I think that you don't discover it here or there. You discover it right now, right here where you are. So there's something about really having the answer already, but it's something that needs to rise up in your consciousness for you to recognize it. And that point is coming, all right? Gemini energy coming in there, so there could be something important that is set in motion in relation to communication. Crossing energy. You may have been ready to burn a bridge. I mean, I think you really were set to do this. This is the crossing energy here. And I think you got fed up with some theatrics that were coming from somebody where you just felt like, you know what, this is enough. I've been dealing with enough, navigating enough. I don't have time for a temper tantrum when I got all this to navigate. ahead of me, everything I'm trying to balance on all these plates that are spinning. And I think you were this close, okay, to really just burning a bridge. And you may have been dealing with somebody who was feeling this way about you. It can be a bit of a mirroring situation. 10:10 on the clock to 10:13. So I do feel like there's something going on here where the wheel of fortune is turning. It's turning for two, and there is a recognition that, okay, we can't move forward in the way we have before, and so now it's time to get a new view. And maybe that ain't half bad, all right? Could be fire sign connected to this energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, of course, Aries coming in strongly because you are a cardinal sign, Aries. We also have descendant signs factoring in very powerfully at this time because all that's going on relationally, especially with Venus being in Scorpio, that's when we're really looking at the roots of our relationships. We're looking at that stuff that we normally like to sweep under the rug. And so there's a lot that's rising up to that surface level of conscious awareness, okay? And we're starting to do away with some things that have been holding us back. And what I have here is okay? And so there's sort of like the old set in stone way that we've done things because, well, we've always done them this way. This is the way we've always related to each other. And then there's somebody on the other side of this equation that could be considered a bit of a dark force. You are not my father. And there's something here about, well, you know, don't cut off the hand that feeds you. You know what I'm saying? There's something here where there's a middle way through. What's being prevented is sort of this polarization where there can't be some meeting point of understanding coming in here. I feel like you've been just on the verge of destruction, right? It's like got these vibes. What you can't see here, because I'm covering it up, is there's a birthing portal here, if you know what I'm saying, catch my drift. And this could be a moment of impregnation, right? The birth of a new beginning, or it could be the seed of destruction. And we see you've been kind of like teetering on the edge here. Like, do I just burn this bridge? Do I just totally nuke this, destroy this, obliterate this? But there is something that is rising up for transformation, and what's tempering it is the truth, okay? Just the facts, no elaboration here. And from there, then we can enter into a laboratory, it's sort of like entering the laboratory to elaborate on the truth together to figure out how can we work with this material creatively so we can make something more positive happen out of this. This is also the fire test of truth. Moth medicine, very similar to butterfly medicine. Something has to go through a transfiguration. It cannot stay the way it was. And there has to be a way through instead of being so polarized and looking at things from a perspective of, well, it's either my way or your way, and there is no compromise here. There is a way to compromise, and I do feel like one of the things that's been very problematic are the labels. This card is called all right? And that's always a problem. As soon as we start to label something, we limit it, right? This is a committed relationship, for example, okay? Or you're my boss, right? There's different ways that we create distinction between the people or the situations we're dealing with. It doesn't even have to be a person specifically. We can encapsulate a whole situation we're dealing with multiple people and a lot of dynamic factors in play. And then we limit it because we slap a label on it and we make a judgment about what this is. Instead of being curious about maybe aspects of it that we don't see, that we have yet to discover, or different ways that we could move forward that we've never even thought of before. So the labels really limit. And I think this is something we're working to shed here. We're looking to break down those boxes. We're looking to get beyond a previous point of understanding here, right? And I think we're holding off from destroying something. There's like, wait a minute. Let me get another look at it. So there's something coming in here that's having us hold our horses a little bit, right? Or at least one person in a dynamic that you're involved in is looking at things this way. Something is preparing to move out of a cross position. And what do we got here? We got the flying man. And I like this because now the flying man is like, all right, that's it. I'm all in. Forget the bridge. We don't need the bridge. Maybe they already feel like they burned a bridge and now they feel like they're held back, okay? But there's something here that's shifting and they're like, okay, screw it. You know, the bridge is burned. That's okay. I'm just going to dive right into that water and I'm going to swim and catch up to you. The current will carry me to you. Somebody is about to take this action, right? They're ready to dive all the way in. But I do feel like this is somebody getting beyond the firewall that's been in place, okay? There's a desire to stop avoiding what one is feeling, to really immerse oneself in those waters, to really enter into feeling something out, because there's a recognition, as corny as it may sound, that to feel is to heal. And to avoid what one is feeling, it's not going to fit the bill, not at this time. And to act out of that pressurized space where you're just popping off and you're calling people out and you're bringing a blast of heat because you're incensed, because you're feeling pressure from all these things you need to express, or all these things that you felt and didn't really feel like they were heard, or didn't feel like anybody was even interested in what you were really feeling or what was coming up for you, or they didn't get where you were coming from. And so when you did communicate about things, they came out left, you know. It's this kind of energy. There's a tempering that's happening here. That's what I see. The fire is merging with the water. Something is being tempered here. So that is that Jupiterian influence going on in Cancer retrograde. It's having a little bit of the softening of time, right? Time does heal all wounds. 17:11 on the clock. There's some hope of a star that is being reclaimed. Maybe that star seemed out of view for a while, but an alignment is coming in. A balance is coming in. Aquarian energy, Libra energy coming in there. Also Aries rising, Leo rising as well for the Aquarian energy, okay? And yeah, I mean, here we are doing the darn thing, hanging out with big, sexy Satan in Hades. And we're looking at all of it, right? And we're trying to understand, instead of how can I best this devil, how can this devil actually benefit me in getting free? Because maybe this devil has shown up on the scene to illuminate something that I've never been willing to see before, or I never really recognized before. And I think so many people miss this when it comes to the devil imagery in the tarot. First of all, the devil imagery in the tarot has owl feet. That is because there's a little bit of the mythos around Lilith tucked within the devil. And it is that story about the descent to go through a transformation to make the unconscious aspects conscious for the sake of empowerment. So there can be a rising up into the light, a recognition of who one truly is. There's also a lot that comes through in relation to the ability to alchemize the shadow aspects so that you can work with your power in a masterful way and materialize what you pull down from the ether in your reality. There has to be a certain level of mastery or restraining of the lower nature in order to make that possible. Because the reality is, with that torch that the devil points down below, he's saying, all you see is all there is. That's what his goat hoof mudra that he holds up in the tarot card means. All you see is all there is. So if you're always sweeping things under the rug, or if you're not able to harness your lower impulses and rise up that energy instead to a point of self-knowledge, you will always be misfiring. You will never be able to really have the fertilization of the new beginning you want to see. You'll never be able to master the material reality. So there is a lot that comes in around power with the dynamic of the devil in tarot. But people are so programmed, right, that they see the devil and immediately they're like, oh, evil, bad. No, it's actually saying you need to master your lower impulses so you can act out of a place of self-knowledge and make conscious choices that wield your power wisely, so you can look at these aspects of yourself that have actually been holding you back from what you want to step into, what you want to actualize, and you can gain the reins of control at the seat of the helm there, you know, where you can be the captain of your ship. And it doesn't mean that it has to come through in a distorted way. But the problem is most of the time, people do not make those lower aspects conscious, or they deny them. They don't want to look at that. And so that's what's at the helm. That's when you get dealt a rough hand of fate and you look at yourself in a position of feeling held back. And you can also villainize others outside of you. You can cast your shadow on others. You can project it on other people. You can say, oh, this person's getting in my way. This person's working against me. This person's sabotaging me. It's because of them. And it's a great way to shirk personal responsibility. And see, Old Scratch is like, no, we're not going to have none of that. It's you. It's you. You have to look at yourself and look at where you're getting tripped up. Where are you giving that power away? By placing it on somebody else and what they may or may not be doing, all right? So there's this kind of energy coming through here. I do feel like somebody is all in with this process, and it is offering an amplitude of power, really being able to hold that power wisely. It's 22:01 on the clock. So yes, there is some kind of alignment coming in here. And I feel like it's also the merging of like the shadow side of oneself and the light side of oneself, and really discovering, well, that's what meets in the middle. There's a way between. There's a place where those two aspects merge, and that really is a bit of the magic of Libra. Libra is known for being the center balancing point of those two extremes, and there is a way through. Not everything is so definitive. Not everything is so black and white. There's actually many shades of gray, you know, and there's room for interpretation. And so again, it's kind of going back into that energy of the label and the way that limits us, all right? And I think as you discover this, you're also finding that certain aspects of yourself that you may have cast in the shadow because maybe you thought people would judge them, or you didn't think that you would be accepted, or it really fed into that sort of mythos that is around Lilith, where she stepped into her power and she was exiled, you know. Some of that may have been coming up for you, but I think as you started to tap into more of that, you're really recognizing like, I like this part of me, you know, I want to bring this part of me forward because this is a part that has always been cast into shame, and yet it's a part of me that really makes me feel alive. So there's like reclaiming these parts and saying, no, like this is kind of turning me on. Like this process is turning me on, and that's why it's like, well, wait a minute, maybe I am ready to dive all into this. I was resisting it at first. But see, there's a lot of fertility in the darkness. The seed germinates in the dark. There's so much that happens in the dark. And darkness is not necessarily evil. What's unknown is not necessarily something bad or something that's working against you, right? There wouldn't be the star without the darkness. And so there is a need to get a little bit of a different perspective here. Very interesting. Okay, let me get some more details here. What else is coming out here for the collective in relation to these energies that are operating in the cardinal signature? Well, you got a lot of different paths that are about to open up for you. The more that you've relinquished control and you've been willing to dive all into this, the more that the Pathfinder has been activated for you. I think what you've been looking at is a need for purification. You're in this process right now where you're like, I gotta cleanse out this gross cup, man. There's gotta be a better way to move forward here. I gotta get this energy out of this vessel so I can have a clear understanding of what I really want to fill this cup to. So this is where you could be moving through some of the sludge, you know, of the past, things that had filled your cup at one point that you recognize don't belong there anymore. This doesn't fulfill me anymore. This doesn't feel like it's in alignment energetically, emotionally, spiritually. This doesn't fill my heart, you know. So this is sort of eradicating a trollish sort of energy too. Perhaps a trollish energy that was demanding that you pay a toll in order to cross a certain bridge. And you're like, I don't need your bridge in order to pass. I'm just going to dive right into the waterway. I'm not avoiding it anymore. I don't need what you're offering me here. No, thank you. Okay. I can see that. And this might have been something that you held on to in the past because you thought that it was something that was secure or old faithful, like I can really count on this. And then you recognize you got a different view and you're like, is it really secure if it makes me deny the truth of who I am? Is it really secure if it causes me to have to suppress what's really in my heart? Is it really secure if I have to completely put myself in a position where I have to get hung up here? I'm not allowed to grow. I'm not allowed to expand. I'm not allowed to bring all I want to bring forward in order to, you know, just be able to enter into this space, find a place in this space. And there's something you're recognizing that, no, that doesn't really work. And because you recognize that, you moved away from the bottom feeder energy, okay? It was just really shooting you in the foot. And you weren't getting anywhere with that, you know, shots fired here. This is when people also felt, you know, kind of small in the face of what were some really big emotions. And there were, you know, there were shots fired. There were words spoken. There were things that flew out of people's mouths that can't be taken back. And you might have looked at this for a long time. There may have been a tit for tat for a while, you know, going back and forth. And then finally you realize, look at this effing hourglass, you know. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. And I don't want to sink like a stone here, man. I want to fly like the eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. And you're ready to open up a new chapter. You see, there's the moth medicine again. So you really are going through a transformation at this time. There's a whole new chapter that's about to open up in your life. And you might be surprised about the way the story unfolds because it shakes up all your ideas and all the labels you had for what the storyline was going to be. And you're also going to be presented with quite a few different paths to explore. And there's one of these paths for sure that is the moon to your sun and the sun to your moon. And it's something that just gives you that feeling, this overwhelming feeling of instant soul recognition. This is my path. This is where I'm meant to go. This is how I'm meant to invest my energy. I'm 100% all in with this process. Even if points of it are unknown, even if points of it are uncertain, even if it has to get a little uncomfortable or awkward, I can't help because this is where the current carries me. This is what is calling me. This is what my soul is howling for. I do feel like something really does come in with that Gemini full moon. Arrives on the scene officially in the daytime on the 5th, but it will be arriving in its waxing phase. If you really want to take in that energy, work with that energy, align with it, you'll want to get down to that business on the 4th of December, okay? Yeah, there's so much that is going to be coming in here. And I feel like there's lots of different aspects of yourself you're becoming aware of too. And all these wolves are hungry. And so you don't have to deny any of them their nourishment. You can explore all of these paths. That's what I got. But there is a path that really is like, it's your soul alignment that's coming in here. It could be a particular person too, where you really have soul recognition. I also feel like there is a path of study that's opening up to you. There's something you're diving into. You want to go further into a learning process. Some of you may be going back to school, or you're getting involved in workshops, or perhaps you're developing courses of your own, or there's something you're teaching others, or you're encountering a mentor. There's a master maker coming onto your path who's going to help you take your craft to the next level. So we got this energy coming in. I also think there is a path that really like gets you fired up. And this may even be a path that involves some kind of activism or championing for a particular group of people that maybe need somebody to represent them, you know, something like this, or doing something to lift up the underdog, this kind of spirit coming in. And then I also feel like there's another path here where it's just about the excitement of it, you know. There's something here that gets you firing on all cylinders, and it gets you revved up and raring to go, and it brings out your wild side. It's got a little bit of that born to be wild energy. There may be a little wanderlust connected to this. There may be a desire to go on a trip, or maybe you're having an experience where you don't have to physically go anywhere, but whatever you're opening up to here, it is a trip, okay? And I also think there's something that you want to do here just for shits and giggles, just for the pure fun of it, okay? So all of this is coming in for you the more you let go. The more you stop trying to label things, the more you stop feeling like you have to have a grasp on a situation or that you got it figured out, the more you enter into that place of curiosity and like, I don't know, let's see what this is, you know, the more it becomes, okay? This is some really good energy. Your Pathfinder medicine is really forward at this time. And I do feel like all those blind spots are really being lit up. You got a scent of the trail. You know what's been working against you. And you know who's been problematic, and maybe a better way to navigate those dynamics as well, okay? There could be some group dynamics coming into your situation as well that require a new approach in navigating. Let's go ahead and do a cut of the deck here and see what we got. But I do feel like where people were really aggressive in the past, it was because in some way they felt like small, you know? And so they had to flex real hard to take up more space, make their presence known. In some way, they thought maybe they were being shaded, and that's where that was coming from. So if you were dealing with another who was coming at you like that, they may have felt like they had been disempowered in the past in your dynamic. And so in order to sort of assert themselves, sometimes that happens when people are just starting to really step into their empowerment. They can be a little too heavy-handed with it, especially if they're feeling insecure. So there could have been a little bit of those dynamics, but I do think that there are things that have gone down. There's things that have been said. There's been arguments, actions taken. That's like once that was fired off, like it had a lasting result here. So there's some challenges to move through, certainly, but I mean, I like this energy coming in because it looks like you're just open, you know? You're open and you freed yourself from some state of consternation, having to try to figure things out and looking at things like it's either or, like you've embraced more of an Aresian perspective, perhaps, where you're like, well, it's a little bit of this and it's a little bit of that. I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. I mean, I don't know, you know, it's a little bit of all of it. You don't have to necessarily polarize yourself either. You don't have to divide yourself, and you don't have to fit within any category either. So I like this energy. To me, it feels very progressive. It's a willingness to not be in such a safe space anymore, right? It's a willingness to just open up completely to the experience, to dive all in, to feel like, okay, well, hold up, wait a minute. You know, maybe I don't need to burn that bridge. Maybe I do need to dive all in so we can purify this gross cup. Maybe it can get cleaned out and something else can fill it, okay? Maybe there's still a purpose to this vessel, right? It's a miraculous chalice. Anything is possible here. And where, you know, you feel like you've just been sinking more into the south node and that time is passing you by, it's not so, because what you don't recognize is that's also part of this initiation process. You gotta go south to head north sometimes, right? So much opening up here, brand new chapter opening up in your life, and it is quite a tale to tell. All right, let me do a cut the deck. Got the provider here. Look, and the provider is holding the chalice, the elephant in the room. It's like, okay, fine. I'm trying to get ready. I'm trying to get ready to take off the mask. I know that I have to provide the vessel for the waters to flow within here. I got it all cleaned out. Maybe what I was offering back there, it was a little compromised, but I have a clearer view. I had to kind of like, get a hold of my younger self here. I had to look at the part of me that was feeling like I wasn't being seen, or I had some shade cast on me, or I was in the shadow, but I've integrated that, and I feel like I'm ready to provide the presence that's needed to really enter into this dynamic here. It's good energy. We got that stag energy there coming in. That is the stone of destiny energy hinted at here. I think somebody is just really trying to get ready to reveal their true identity. And that may be like coming forward and saying, this is me too, Pac-Man. This is me as well. Like, you may know this part of me, but there's many different shades of me. And I want you to know who I truly am, because, there's so many aspects of me that you don't see. And those are the best parts of me. And they can provide a lot of nourishment for that Ace of Cups there, okay? But it does require maybe facing something that could be a little awkward or uncomfortable. It could be some collateral damage related directly to those shots fired in the past that has been like the elephant in the room. But I do see we're bringing the elephant in, okay? We're going to look at all of it. So this is good. And then on the other side here, we have king shit. All right, so yeah, this is good. Really ready to let go of the BS, ready to look at things in a new way, ready to release some stubbornness, give a finger to what has been holding one back, letting that shit go, mastering time here with Kala. Time is on your side. The dreams of your heart are protected here. Just align with that vision, and you'll find that birthing portal opens right up. No problems moving forward here. It's just really about giving the finger to the BS. The stories you told yourself that were holding you back here. And this looks good. Looks like you're straightening your crown with this new vision. And whatever new vision is getting set here, it is fixed, okay? Fixed in a good way, all right? Held in place. Like, this is an alignment that's coming in here. It is a crowning moment. King shit is crowning. The road is opening. So I like this. So if somebody was acting out of a very like strong masculine posturing, I do feel a little softening there. I do feel somebody recognizing that true strength is mastery. It's mastery. It's not always about putting on some big blustery display. It's not always about bringing the heat. There's a more quiet kind of strength, a more quiet kind of power. And I feel like there's a quiet storm that's brewing here. And it is something that it's got a little bit of a sensual flow to it, A little bit of a sensual flow. I do want to get some cardomancy out on the board too, just to get some more details here. And then we'll dive into the individual reads. So let me go ahead and get this shuffled here. What does the collective need to know about moving through this energy in the lead up to the Scorpio new moon on the 20th? What does the collective need to know about the Scorpio energy signature, how that's influencing this territory in the lead up to that new moon that's mirroring the Libra new moon that came in on the 21st? Okay, quite a trip between these two starting points. So we'll see how things have panned out there, but let's get some details about what we need to be aware of moving through this territory. Ooh, something is falling away there. Interesting. Okay, something's falling away. Something's falling away. And what's falling away is something that has been holding things in a conflicted state, and it's bringing about an alignment. Looks like it's bringing a way through. It's opening the road. Chariot energy coming in, Cancerian energy coming in here. Some conflict is being dropped. Some sense of betrayal is being dropped. Some sense of being in a state of lack is being dropped. Some sense of remorse, regret is being dropped, and it's opening the road. There's a way forward here. Okay, interesting. What is this? What's coming in that the collective needs to be aware of here? The lead up to the Scorpio new moon. What does the collective need to be aware of here? Okay, there's a crossing energy coming in here. See if anything else wants to come out. Bottom of the deck, okay? There's still some fears operating here, a little bit of uncertainty. I think this is what you're preparing to move out of, this sort of like reticence, you know? It's sort of got like the vibe of being, well, maybe because there were shots fired, it's like being a little gun shy, okay? But look at this. Ace of Clubs. So again, it's feeding off the energy that came in with the mutable signs. There is some strong action that needs to be taken here. The fire needs to come forward. There might be nervousness about this, or you're dealing with somebody who's a little bit nervous about this. Any clues about what this action involves? That's the only thing holding things up, is taking one single step to move out of the crossroads here. This could be related to something that's like a business aspiration too. I just want to bring it in. Or something you feel very like purpose driven around. You feel like this is what I'm meant to do. I feel like I'm being called to do this, and that certainly could be playing out in the realm of relationships as well. Some of you have been refraining from connecting with others on an intimate level. Some of you are practicing celibacy. You've been storing up your power. That might have really changed things for you, got you looking at things in a new way. We got 7 of Spades here. Okay, so I do know that there's some interesting energy connected to this. We got the 5 of Spades coming in with the Ace of Spades here. I think what's happening here is you're really taking an action to cut off something that you know is done. That's what it looks like. There's a choice you need to make here to end something that is just bent on being a path of deception. Or by being on this path, there's some way that you're lying to yourself. And so you're betraying yourself in a way. It's like stealing your time, stealing your energy, stealing your focus. And once you recognize this, then you're able to put this behind you, right? And you're able to take an action that turns things around. And it can even be the way that you're betraying yourself of an opportunity by continuing to look at a situation through the eyes of the past and not getting a clearer view. How will this change? How will this change? What is it that needs to be released here? What is the new perspective that needs to be gained here to actually take this action that brings transformation? What is the action that needs to be taken here? There's a lot of kind of like sorting through different options. I think that's why that 9 of Spades energy is coming out. It's just not wanting to take the wrong action, making sure that you're moving in a way that makes sense. There's almost like an understanding that what falls away will be composted, you know? It's like, this is it. But remember that what falls away may be an aspect of yourself. It could be a blind spot you had about how you were moving, or maybe a belief that needs to change. Okay, we've got another crossing energy there. There's something there too. Look at that, man. 10 of Spades, bottom of the deck. So there is something that is like done here. Oh, I like this. I mean, what's done? Fear is done. I like this. This came out before. So this is cutting off this sense of needing to be afraid about taking a certain action. Joker's wild. Ooh, I like it. It's like taking the risk of the fool. But it's got the vibe of like almost like readying yourself to take that leap off the cliff. What's on the split here? Let me do a cut of the deck to cap this off. It's got like big Aries energy around that. 9 of Clubs, okay? Really figuring out what is worth defending here. What is worth taking a stand for. And there's something here that does bring about balance, whatever you're choosing here. 9 plus the 2, okay, comes to 11, justice, balance. And it does free you from the South Node. It's like it balances out that karmic cycle. But the only way you can access this is through really trusting your intuition. And it has you moving forward, really following your heart here. So I like this. This is good. I feel like there's something that has been holding you back, and what's been holding you back is fear. It's got the vibe that everything that you want is on the other side of fear, whether that's fear of letting people see who you really are, fear of what direction you want to head in, fear of others, you know, finally understanding who you love, you know, whatever this is. There's some kind of fear that needs to be faced. And once you let that fear go, something really transforms here, okay? 48:03 on the clock. We're going to start with Capricorn. Capricorn, I like this. There's some kind of victory heading your way with 6 of Wands. That's the basis of the matter, what's coming in for you. We're working with the Tarot of the Divine for you, Capricorn. I think you got your sights set on some success you want to see here, some culmination point you want to arrive at. I feel like with that energy coming in on the bottom of the deck, you've appropriately laid the foundation for this. You might be just doing a little tweak here and there, making sure that all the nuts and bolts are tight and that you are really ready to launch this. You know, that you're really ready to grow from this place. And you've really been laying the foundation down for a while. I think you do have a vision here and you're ready to bring it into form. And it looks like it's marked for success. It looks like the basis of the matter. 9 of Coins. I mean, you've definitely been doing the work. We got Taurus energy coming in here. I also feel like you've been really focused on this. You know you have something of value to offer. You know that this is a wise direction to invest your energy in. You believe in this, what you're calling into being here. And I do see there's already some signs of growth evident. You got a wand raised there of sorts, okay? So I do feel like you are holding some power here. You're going to take an action. And there's really the sense of being committed to this course of action for the long haul. Like there's something that you need to put steady work, energy into here, focus into here. And I do feel like you're already seeing the signs of growth since you started to clear some space for this. Okay, let's see what else is coming in here. Ooh, I like this. So you're finding your way through the dark wood and your star is coming into view. You've found your way into the clearing. You will quite soon. So whatever is set in motion at this time, I do feel like it's really aligning you with your stargate. And there's the first sign of hope that's coming in with that full moon in December, in Gemini. It's really beautiful. It's almost like the culmination point of many different hopes that you've had at different points in your life. And I don't know why I got this. It's almost like all these different desires, all these different wishes that you've had in some way, shape, or form. They're all merging together into one expression, one culmination point. Like there's a little piece of all these different desires, wishes, hopes that you've had in the past that maybe weren't fulfilled, that actually are contained within your North Node that's being activated here. And I like this. There's nothing that you're having to force here. She's holding this lamb. There's like a gentleness to this too. There's something you've been dreaming about for a while here. And I think you're getting the first signs that this is actually coming into view for you. Ooh, yes, you're reaching a successful culmination point with the world. I love this. This is beautiful. There may even be a particular person that you're going to celebrate with. You might be coming into alignment with somebody very special here. Somebody who will be very tender with you. Somebody who will be very gentle with your heart. That's kind of how it's coming through. It's really sweet. Give me more details about this for Capricorn. Give me more details about this for Capricorn. What is coming in here for Capricorn? There could be an Aquarius connected to this or a Leo rising. What is coming in here for Capricorn? Also with the world, there could be a fixed sign in play. Be a Taurus. We already had that imagery come out. A Scorpio or Leo in the mix, as well as that Aquarian energy. Whatever needed to be resolved is being cleared up here. Like whatever that missing piece was that brings all of these different aspects together into your new beginning, you're getting the missing piece. There's like some kind of successful culmination point for you here, which is excellent. Ooh, yes, you're finding a way to move on up that ladder. I like this. Okay, so you're definitely moving up to the North Node. You got the Three of Wands coming in here. I feel like it's just a straight ascent to the top here. This is excellent. And I think you're also bypassing what could have been really complicating. It's almost like I'm seeing these like three different energies that maybe were exerting their power in such a way that was creating some kind of obstacles for you. And you're figuring out a new way to get around those obstacles or get around these three problematic people here. And you're just heading straight on up the ladder. So there's absolutely some kind of advance that's happening for you here. This is good. Yeah, you're thwarting those who have been trying to create some problems for you. It's disappointment for them. They're going to be really confounded. How did you figure out a way to get around all of those difficulties I wanted put in your place? but there's an end coming to that, all right? I like this. This is good. This is elevation, Capricorn. Very positive energy for you. Anything else coming in here for Capricorn? This looks like pretty straightforward, Capricorn. It's not really that complicated. Looks pretty clear. Where you've been wanting to see, you know, some progress, feel like you're actually, you know, getting to the next level up. You're going to see it. And you're getting around some people who've been causing some problems for you. I feel like they've been exerting their power in such a way that it's been a limiting force for you, but you're figuring out a creative way to get around what they try to put in your path. That's what I see here. All right, this is good. In work arenas, this could be some kind of promotion or new opportunity that lets you experience a little bit of elevation in your life. You know, might up your status, might give you more material advantages, might make it possible for you to do some things you never thought you could do. Oh yeah, I would say that. This isn't here yet. It's coming soon. We got the 9 of coins, okay? So you see there's a lot that's going to grow here for you. So there's some seed you need to plant here. We saw that very clearly. This is a dream you have, something that you've been conjuring up here. You need to make the time, energy to invest in this. There will be so much that grows from it. I feel like you personally grow from it. I also feel like it really ups your happiness quotient in your life. There's something you feel really fulfilled doing here. And that has a very positive effect on your health. You may have not really recognized how much the stresses and just feeling like you weren't really aligned with your purpose or weren't moving in a way in relation to your work that was really satisfying, gratifying for you. And now that you're getting this proper alignment, looks like some opportunity coming your way. That really has a change taking root in your life on a whole other level. It's not just material advancement. I mean, the money is going to be really good here. But there's also like more of a state of independence here too, where you really get to call the shots. You don't feel like you're always under pressure from others who maybe, you know, yeah, maybe they were in a position of power over you. And so they had you doing all the grunt work with no reward and you felt really held back. But this might be something that you're branching out, you're doing on your own, or this is a new position you're coming into that really lets you take center stage. And there's so much growth here and you're going to be eating good. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's going to be really good for you. I feel like this is something that makes you very happy. And it also gives you a lot more seeds to plant for your future. So it's like one thing leads to another. And it may also be that this opportunity that comes into view for you, it leads to a lot of other opportunities as well. And I'm almost seeing this as like a wheel of light in the sky turning here. So this is beautiful. It takes you to a greater state of elevation than you can currently imagine. And if you have been experiencing any health challenges, I feel like directly related to being held back, the stresses you've been dealing with, the difficult people you've been dealing with, the work situations you've been dealing with that really haven't been letting you tap your full potential, I feel like you're going to experience a major change in your health. Like there's something here about really having so much stress relieved, and it just puts you in a better position all around. You're happier, you're more fulfilled. And yeah, you're going your own way here, and it does align you with your North Node. I love this. You got that stag there. That is the white heart. So there's some blessing coming in here. You might even have a blessing come in from the white stag. That might show up on the scene sometime around winter solstice for you. But this is a bit of your destiny coming into view. And you're rising up out of the South Node because you're using your power to take this risk, to really follow your heart. Go in the direction of fulfillment. This looks good. Let's do a cut of the deck here to cap this off. You could be dealing with a Virgo as well in this situation. I mean, this is your energy, the devil. I like it. We already know you make it through the dark wood. How? By bringing your fire forward. You're transforming something and you're blazing a trail here. So this is beautiful. There's a very potent transformational point coming in here. To me, it really feels like it's in relation to your work and something you have a dream around here, a vision that you've been holding for quite some time. And it may be multiple ideas, dreams, visions you have that are all coming together in one comprehensive opportunity that contains a little bit of all of these things that you wanted to see actualize in your life. 9 of Wands. We got Baba Yaga's hut there. Interesting. There might be something too that's quite healing for you in relation to this. Many people misunderstand Baba Yaga. You know, there's a lot of lore around her that is more based on having a sense of fear. But Baba Yaga flies in a mortar and pestle. You know, she has access to arcane knowledge. She knows how to bring healing. And she also is able to move her house from place to place, or her house is able to relocate on chicken legs. So there's something coming through here where you might be getting into some kind of healing work, or there might be something that is a bit of a wild part of you that gets to come forward in this work that maybe others haven't seen, haven't recognized. It might be putting yourself out there in a new way. And there might be also something about relocation connected to this as well. And where you move, it might be really unexpected. Like you have no idea what's about to happen here. There might be like a little bit of fear moving into this territory, because I do feel like it is unknown territory and it does require you to have some courage to step into this. But I think once you do, you'll be pleased with the end result. Let me see what's behind this 9 of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, yes, I like it. Okay, so yeah, it is a little bit of trickster energy. You know what I mean? And what could trick you? Your fear. Your fear could get you caught up here. But if you can embrace the unknown, if you can be like the spider, you can weave a new web of creation into being in your life. And you don't have to get caught up in it like the fly would. You know, it's not chaotic if you're really owning your creative power and recognizing that you get to weave this into being here. But there could be something about it, I think, that does call on your fear a little bit, you know, and that's the challenge you have to push through. But I feel like you're transforming the fear. You're ready to head into this unknown direction. And it turns the Wheel of Fortune in your favor. Sagittarian energy connected to this. So you're absolutely moving into greater expansion. Your energy came out really strong here. All right. This looks good, Capricorn. I like this for you, okay? All right. Let's see. 10334. Coming in with Aries, we're going to use the Tarot of the Owls for you, Aries. We got the Queen of Swords. Okay, bottom of the deck energy. Strong Libra energy coming out in the cardinal read here, but you could also be dealing with a Gemini or an Aquarius. Additionally, it does really call to mind the energy of Libra rising. If you're Libra rising, you're an Aries descendant, so you might be tuning in for this, okay? Looks like this is the basis of the matter. Queen of Swords. There's some truth that you've arrived at. You did come in with that 103 energy. So there's some new beginning here. Could be connected to an Empress energy. Coming in with the Queen of Swords, it could be a Libra in the mix, okay? Something transforming here. Let's see what this is. What is coming in here for Aries? You could have dealt with a situation where you felt like you were dealing with a lot of deceptive elements. You had to see something clearly, see through some kind of deception in order to navigate the way forward. I feel like there is some action you're taking here. The action you're taking is being informed by your wisdom. Things you've learned as you've been fumbling through some situations where there were a lot of missing details or gaps in understanding. You had to uncover some certain details that were hidden from you. And once you get a clearer view, I do think you're going to take some kind of wise action here. So let's see what this is coming in for you, Aries. Oh, bottom of the deck, Four of Wands in reverse. So there was something here that had been out of alignment. There could also be something that's felt a little off on the home front, something you wanted to address here, something foundational. Let's see what's coming in here for Aries. Also, feeling like there was hope for some kind of arrival point, some kind of culmination point, some kind of celebration, but something fell flat. This is what is the basis of the matter, all right? Could even be related to a move. Okay, so let's see what this is. What is this coming in for Aries? Got the Three of Pentacles coming in here. So this is trying to work something out, right? Trying to figure something out. It's not quite upright. Bottom of the deck, Five of Wands. I see. There's been some kind of conflict you've been navigating. Some kind of conflict you've been navigating. Like I see that there's two people here, right, that see eye to eye. And then there's a third person here who maybe has been making some kind of offer, or they've wanted to be in the mix, or they've been wanting to be involved in what has been between two people here. And that could have been a complicating situation because I see on the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Wands in reverse. This is like pulling out of some kind of dramatic situation, pulling out of some kind of competitive situation or argumentative situation. This is saying, no, I'm not interested in this. And behind that, we have the Tower. So perhaps that's what you weren't seeing before, but you did get some kind of illumination, or this is about to come in. And actually, there's two people here that are seeing something that they were not able to recognize. What was causing problems? It feels like in the nest, in the home, right? The nest, it could be nest egg too. So that makes me think of like financial issues. Like what was causing problems here? There's been like some deceptive elements in play. Some of you may feel that there could have been a little bit of spiritual work done too, maybe to throw some conflict energy toward a household. That's possible as well. I say that because owls represent magic. Okay, we got these two owls flying here. I don't think it's accidental that I felt drawn to this deck for you, but it also can be deceptive energy. It can be things that are cloaked, things that are hidden. I think you weren't realizing where the source of disruption was coming from, and then something became clear. It looks like an outside element here got illuminated for you. And when it came in, it's shocking, or it's about to be, okay? So let's see what comes forward from this. That Tower energy, we're looking at, I mean, it's your energy, Aries. I think it affects you personally. It's also Scorpio energy, Aquarian energy, Leo rising, Taurus rising energy. Strong Leo here as the basis of the matter, also coming in with that owl there by its side. So I think there's something that was illuminated here in relation to something that went down in the past. There could have been a Leo connected to this. And there you are, Emperor. This is your energy. And there's an Ankh here, which makes me think there might be some kind of connection here. There could be a connection that you share with somebody. You might feel like this is something related to a past life, even in ancient Egypt. There might have been a connection where there was like a soul recognition initially, like you felt this soul connection with this person. It's like even though you hadn't dealt with this person before, it felt like you had. There was like a familiarity there. And I'm really cluing into the Ankh. Like, I think there's somebody here that you feel a soul tie to, that you've been through this many rounds, all right? And if you don't buy into that, you know, philosophy of past lives, this is somebody that gave you a big sense of what I call deja voodoo. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like I know you, but I know I've never met you in this life. It's got those kind of vibes to it. And on the other side here, crossing the other direction, there's actually was like a split here. This is how it came out. The Hierophant. And isn't that interesting? There's 3 here too. There's two that are meant to have some key to their freedom that gives them gifts. It brings gifts into their life. But there's some outside party here that's holding this back. It's almost got like, you shall not pass until I say you can. Do you see? It's like they're blocking one's passage here. One's being held back and the other's being granted free passage. But there's a detail here. It's like, no, there's no way for that to happen. These two got to go forward together. And somebody's actively been blocking one of these people from moving forward, exercising some outside authority. This could be somebody related to the past. Hierophant energy, Taurus energy. Taurus presenting some kind of blockage. This certainly could be related to some kind of financial blockage. When we look at the house of Taurus, this could have something to do with some kind of institution was causing blockage. Something that was creating some kind of holdups here. There could have been a marriage that was creating blockage as well. Sometimes the Hierophant can represent a traditional committed relationship where there's legally binding agreements involved here. There's something here that's been at odds though. And I feel like Aries, you were like, I cannot abide by this. There has to be a way for both to move forward. Because if there isn't a way for both to move forward, then that compromises my sense of loyalty. There's something here about feeling like you had to be loyal to a cause, loyal to a person. And there's a third element here that is making it difficult for the person that you feel loyal to. It's like, they're like, no, I'm not open to that. I have no desire to make it easy for this individual to move forward. Something very compromising here. And I do feel like you're pulling out of some kind of disagreement here. It's going to take strength to rise above this challenge, basis of the matter. But you do have the strength to do it. Strong Leo energy coming through here. This is a crossroads energy. There can even be like a feeling of being held up at the crossroads with a Taurus connected to this directly, or missing something essential that you need in order to free yourself from the crossroads. This can even be assets. This can be that somebody is exerting a controlling force, and so you're being held back because of this opposition coming from somebody who has some kind of outside authority in this situation that's causing problems here. It's going to take strength to overcome this, okay? What's going on here? I do feel like you're wanting to pull out of some kind of disagreement or something that's been creating too many problems, too much stress. Might be too many players involved in this situation too. Too many cooks in the kitchen, complicating matters here. You want to get back to the basics. You do see eye to eye with somebody in this situation, and there's a third person in this situation who's blocking it. Isn't it interesting? Look at this. I just noticed this. They're blocking on the same side in both images. So it really feels like there could be a Taurus that's connected to this, or some kind of work situation, or some kind of situation where somebody's holding up assets. But I feel like you're moving away from this dynamic here with the Eight of Cups. You've seen through the illusion. You recognize that you have to make a break from whoever you were aligned with here. There might have been something that you were trying to work out for a while, like really trying to work it out for the three. But there's other people that came in tow with that further complicated the situation. And then before you knew it, it was like a big mess. This could even be like some kind of family dynamic that's been complicated. There could be a mother connected to this, just with the Empress energy signature that came out initially here. Or there could be a baby's mother in connection to this, somebody you share a child with. Something was complicating here. I do feel like there is somebody you feel aligned with here. It feels like your destiny, but something has been inhibiting the freedom. Something has been held under lock and key. Something's been held up, and it looks like it's somebody exerting external power here that's been very problematic. It's like saying, well, you can go forward, but I'm going to block this other person, or I'm making things difficult for this person here. And you share a sense of loyalty with this person, so that's not going to work. That's what I see. That's what I see. So you recognize that you're going to have to break away from one of these people here. Even though you invested a lot of energy and tried to make it work for the three, you see it's not possible. So you're choosing to trust your own intuition here. And I do feel like this is something that you will start to move into on the other side of the Scorpio new moon. It's not quite here yet, okay? Not quite here yet. There could be a Pisces connected to this situation. Eight of Cups is Pisces. Okay, there could be a blind spot, something that's about to be illuminated for you. You may be trying to figure out where the problems are coming from. And there's some kind of deception you're seeing through. It might even be you at some point exercising this energy of the Hierophant, where you're waiting to see what is the correct action to take in a situation to correct what's been problematic. Because you know that whatever you set in motion here, it's going to be in place for quite a long time, right? So you might be making a judgment call too about two particular options. You may be picking a side. You may be choosing where your loyalty lies. Yeah, I see that. And this popped up in the middle of the deck, okay? We got the Queen of Pentacles here. So again, strong Taurus energy, bottom of the deck. Ace of Pentacles here. The birth of a brand new beginning, okay? Let's get some details about this Queen of Pentacles. King of Wands, okay? So that's your energy right here. You may really understand where the true value lies. And with that, we got 9 of Wands. So, it's interesting. I feel almost like there's like a consideration here, right? It looks like the Queen of Pentacles is looking at this offer like a way to move forward in a situation, and she's studying it. Does that work for me? Is this right for me? Do I open up to this? And I feel like you're just waiting to hear if there's a compromising point here. Like, are you willing to move forward in this way? Is this acceptable to you? Defenses are up in relation to this with the Nine of Wands. Somebody is like in a very defensive posture here. It is coming in with the Wands energy. So I feel like this is you, Aries, where you're like, look, I'm really not willing to budge on this particular point right here. I'm not willing to compromise on this. And you're sticking to it. I see that, you know? So it's like you're preventing further conflict. You're preventing further issues because you're sussing something out here. And you're making one final offer. Here's something that we can do to begin in a way that works for everybody in this situation. And the Queen of Pentacles is weighing this out. And you're waiting. You're waiting to hear for a reply. You're waiting to hear a reply. Okay? In relation to this. Strong earth sign energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But really strong Taurus in relation to this. Could also be a Scorpio rising. Okay, more details about this. Anything else that needs to be seen about this? How is this going to go? How's this going to go? Is the Queen of Pentacles going to be in agreement with this? That's interesting. So this is weird how this came out. It came out with the Nine of Cups with the Queen of Swords here. Libra energy. You could be a Libra rising tuning in for this. Aries descendant. Or there's a Libra involved in this mix. There's some kind of wish fulfillment here. It came out with the Queen of Swords. So I think that there's something here that you're trying to secure. Either for yourself, okay, Aries, or for a Queen of Swords that you're connected to, that you feel deserves to have some kind of balance here, some kind of wish fulfillment here with the Nine of Cups. Like, I do feel like you're taking a stand for something. All right, so I do feel like if you're a Libra rising, you are getting your desires met here with the Nine of Cups. How is this Queen of Pentacles feeling about it? So I think this is what's being presented. Like you're presenting something here where it's either my needs need to be considered here in order for this to work, right? Or you're approaching somebody who's had opposition to this person that you feel loyal to. And you're saying, look, the only way to move this forward is if I make sure this person gets what they deserve in this situation too. And so let's see what the Queen of Pentacles is thinking about this. She's studying it. I see that. I mean, it does look like Queen of Swords gets wish fulfillment here. What is this? Crossing energy, Seven of Cups is what's crossing. Okay, so there's still bargaining going on here. That's what I see. Bargaining. And it's a little bit of a confusing situation. There can be some illusions cast in this situation too, where it's like certain options look better than they really are. So there's a lot to sort through here. And that's what's crossing this Ace of Pentacles. So I think this is going to be like a back and forth bartering situation for a while. And, you know, you may get sick of that. You may decide, I don't want to bargain with the Queen of Pentacles anymore because they can't make up their mind and they're just being difficult. And the more I continue to stay in this sort of bargaining place with this person, it just gets more confusing. There's more conflict and I don't want to deal with that anymore. And that may be what it needs to be. You need to see it for what it is and have the strength to walk away from it. Understanding that you did all you could, that you invested all you could. You know, you tried to work something out. And I think maybe that's really what you feel like you need to do. Like, I need to feel in good conscience that I did the right thing here, you know, that I handled this appropriately. All right. But I think it's more confusion and it's more like talking around things and I feel like there's not like a real definitive statement coming through this Queen of Pentacles. That's what I see. All right, cut of the deck, cap this off. The High Priestess. There's the Pisces energy coming in. There's also like, there's the poppies here, okay? So there is this a little bit of, again, it's coming in that kind of Neptunian, dreamy, illusory, like not all is as it seems. So I think you are really digging into this situation, and something might be sending your hackles up. Like maybe I don't have the full story here, because I feel like this Queen of Pentacles is like biding too much time. It's like the offer is very clear. It's real. It's tangible. So why is there like this confusion? Why is there all this deliberation? Like, just make up your mind here. There are things that are hidden in this situation. There are aspects that are operating beneath the surface. There's some concealment in this situation. And I think intuitively, you sense this, you know something's up. For those of you who feel like you have been dealing with somebody who may have been doing some spiritual work, it could be with the High Priestess showing up there, you know, this kind of glamour energy here. What do we got on the other side? Page of Cups in reverse. All right, this is a manipulative energy. And it's what it's manipulating is this alignment that wants to come in here with the Four of Wands. So where you lost some spirit of celebration, some arrival point, having something work out at home, I feel like this is being rectified. This looks good. What was holding things up? This bargaining with somebody here. Looks like they have strong water, earth in their chart. They keep like pushing the offer back towards you, like sort of saying, well, but what about this? And it's like the more this negotiation goes back and forth, the more murky things become, the more confusing it is, the more you feel like somebody's trying to work an angle here. And I feel like you're just going to say, forget it, you know? It's really easy for me to make a choice here. I can just have my alignment right now. I can have my peace right now. I can have my arrival point right now. I can have success right now. I don't need to wait, you know. I'm sitting here trying to work this out for you, but it doesn't work for me, okay? Pisces energy in reverse with that High Priestess, okay? So it could be you're dealing with somebody that is running counter purpose to you, you know, and you haven't been aware of that. But certain things are starting to become evident. The more you're getting pushback from this person, or the more you're picking up that they're hiding something from you. That's what I see here, okay? But it looks like you recover your alignment. Looks like things are improving on the home front. Looks like you're getting the end result you desire. But it does require you pulling out of a situation that's been a lot of confusion, disruption, conflict, drama. And the more you do that, the more you're going to start to see that you're putting something in place that is going to last. And it builds the light in your life. So that's good. That's good. But looks like you've had enough of a particular conflict, of a particular drama. And I don't blame you, man. Okay, Cancer coming in at 128.14. Ooh, Cancer, Wheel of Fortune turning for you. Wheel of Fortune turning for you. Brand new beginning coming into view. We're opening up with the Paulina Tarot for you. And I call this my fairy tarot. So you may be spending a lot of time in nature right now. You might be really finding a lot of support through connecting with nature. You also might be feeling like you're tapping into a more magical time in your life. You might be feeling like something's shifting here. And it's inspiring you a little bit. I don't know, I'm feeling like a little bit of like excitement. It feels like almost like fluttering in the heart space here. Something's uplifting your energy. Okay. Maybe a bit of magic's weaving into your world that is giving you this feeling of upliftment. So let's see what's coming in here for you, Cancer. What is coming in for Cancer in the lead up? We've got Scorpio New Moon. We've got some kind of invitation coming your way. And it looks like it gives you an opportunity to connect with quite a few people, maybe a new community of people, people that feel like there's a real sense of connection there, you know. This might be an opportunity to collaborate with others in a creative way. And I like this energy for you, okay? Page of Cups comes in strong with Piscean energy. So this could be something, a creative opportunity that is aligned with your North Node, or these people that you are coming into alignment with. They're going to be people you're going to be working with for some time to come. You're starting to really connect with your people, your star mates here. There could be a child connected to this situation, or there could be like a more childlike quality within you that's resurfacing here. Yeah, something that's just like lifting your spirits, making you feel more lighthearted. That's what I got. Ooh, a whole new story is opening up here for you. This is cool. What's this crossing energy? Temperance. Something's being balanced out here, and it's directly connected to your North Node. And it could be in relation to a Sagittarius here. Something's transforming. There's 2 cups here. And there's energy that is being balanced out between 2 people. I think it's been a lot to get to this point. Okay, there's been some pressure in this situation. But now this connection has the impenetrability of a diamond, right? Maybe somebody's also really seeing your worth, okay? There's something you have clarity around here. And I think you also really understand your value and you're standing on it. You know what I'm saying? You're really showing up, representing it. And as a direct result, it's bringing about some beautiful alignment between you and another. Looks like whoever this person is, they play a key role in your destiny. So this could be a soul contract coming in here. This can be the renegotiation of a soul contract where maybe you had challenges with a person. This could be a lover. This could be a friend. This could be a family member. Okay. Whatever's happening here, it gives you more of a spirit of optimism. Really positive energy. Okay, what is this coming in for Cancer? More details about this. What is coming in for Cancer here? Right. Oh, I love it. You're not feeling held back anymore. You're out of your head and you're moving something into action here. You feel like you've been freed from something. Maybe you felt like you were really held back for a long time. I think you're reclaiming your power. It has everything to do with you really understanding your worth, your value. And by you standing on that, like standing on business, so to speak, it's like making somebody else really see you in a different way. Now you're like seeing eye to eye with this person. This is good. I also feel like you stop feeling sorry for yourself, or maybe in some cases feeling like somebody else had some kind of hold over you and you freed yourself from this. This could even be in relation to an old relationship. You really freed yourself from what at one point really felt like a binding agreement. For some of you, this could be a contractual agreement. You're freeing yourself from a contractual agreement, and something about that is freeing you up to come into alignment with another who really recognizes your value and you're able to see eye to eye with each other. If this is the case and it's related to a contractual agreement that has something to do with your work, this is a more creative direction that you're heading in, or it's work that really fulfills you. It could be some kind of healing work you're doing, or something that feels really inspired, something that's related to your purpose because you're willing to pour a lot into this. And whoever you're teaming up with around this, they feel the same way about this. Like they're really ready to invest a lot of nurturing to bring this into fruition because you both understand the value of it. But I think for a lot of you, this is in relation to somebody you share a heart connection with, whether that's a lover or whether that is a dear friend, a family member. In some way in the past, you felt like you were held back from really coming into alignment with this person. And it may have just been the way you were holding yourself back, maybe from having a very important communication, maybe, you know, from just having the courage to face it, what needed to be sorted out there, whatever was creating some kind of division here. But I feel like you're getting out of your head and you're following your heart. And this looks good. We've got the King of Cups there. So this is your energy. This is really beautiful. Yeah, your heart is forward. You're taking the risk to bring your heart forward here. And that's a very beautiful thing. I feel like you got a lot of support from Spirit in relation to this. Like, this is something that needs to happen at this time. So, King of Cups, heart forward here. Your energy, very forthright. I feel like you're no longer willing to just sort of think about something or try to figure it out. You recognize, I need to take the risk to approach this person and open up a discussion here to work this out. You see the value in doing this. I think in you doing this, somebody else sees your value too. I mean, because the energy is coming out masculine with Cups energy. Well, I mean, I don't know. You could be a Cancer, Leo, cusper too. I got Queen of Wands coming out here. So fire forward. I feel like you're taking this action. You're taking this action. And it's really a display of your power. You have the courage to face something. In the past, you really held yourself back from this. But look at that. Knight of Cups. You're bringing your heart forward. You feel like this is something I need to do. And I finally have the strength and the personal empowerment to do it. I recognize that for my own sake, it's important that I face this dead on. I face it squarely. And I think it pays off because there is something that is brewing here that is a bit of destiny. And your value is recognized. I think you'll be glad that you take this risk. And there's something happening here where masks need to fall away. It's like really seeing each other for the first time as you truly are. This is good. There's something that is moving forward here emotionally. There could be another water sign connected to your situation. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or there could be a fire sign connected to your situation. Strong Sagittarius, but Leo, Aries could also be in the mix. All right, so let's see what this is. In some cases where you've been single for a long time, this could be taking it to the next level. I do see there is death on the scene here, Scorpio energy. There's a crossing energy that comes in connection with this. The Four of Cups. So somebody is making an offer here, but the offer is being turned down. Hold on a second. Ted, I think, needs to go to the bathroom. Just a minute, Teddy. Come on, you need to go potty? Okay. All right, go ahead and go. Go potty, baby. Okay. It's interesting. So I can see this kind of one of two ways. I feel like this is a situation where there's been an imbalance in the past between the two of you. And maybe in the past, you would have given up too much of what felt right for you in order to please this person. And in some way, that always held you back, accepting less than you truly deserve. Hold on, let me let him back out. Come on, Ted. Come on. Come on, baby. Go ahead. Interesting. The way that came in is very interesting to me. Because it feels like it's one of those experiences. This could be something that ties back to 2018, whipping back around. I think there's something here. It gives me the vibes of, there's a tarot deck, the Tantric Dakini Oracle. I don't have it here. It's in another location. I really missed that deck, but there's a card there called Just Passing Through. And I feel like that's what this is. This is a transitory moment. It is a moment in time. This is a situation that is just passing through. But there's something about it that's bringing a sense of empowerment to you, where maybe in the past you felt very disempowered in this particular connection. Whatever is happening here, I feel like it brings your fire really forward, and it makes you feel like, I got free of that, you know? And your value is seen. Like there's a recognition of you being in a much different position than you were before. There could be a Scorpio connected to this situation. There could be somebody that's born on the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius season, right? This person could carry a lot of both of those energies. I feel like the action that you're choosing to take here is to hold off before accepting an offer. Because we got the Seven of Cups here. It's like this offer comes in, right? The Four of Cups comes in. So in other words, here comes the same old stuff that I've always been sort of pleased to just make do with. And you're not in that position anymore because in some way here, you've got your mojo back. That's what I feel. And so here comes this offer. It's the same old thing. And you're like, why am I going to accept this when I have all these other things that I could explore that might be much more fulfilling for me? Hold up, wait a minute. And I think that might be sort of the surprise element that gets this person looking at you in a different way. Because in the past, you might have been really quick to accept this. But now you're like, no, let me think about it. And that really is showing this person that something within you has fundamentally changed. Things are not the way they used to be. Ooh, this is intriguing. Okay, so which way is this ball going to bounce? Because I feel like it's your ball and you don't want to play. You don't want to play the game anymore. I do see that this person, they play a role in your destiny. And that may be that they were key in teaching you how to really value yourself. Like this person taught you a lot of lessons about feeling empowered in yourself. Sometimes somebody can come as a challenger on our paths too. And they pull that out of us, if you wouldn't have gone through those difficult experiences of feeling disempowered in a connection, you never would have had the impetus to rise. You know what I mean? There's something like that here, where maybe something used to be the end all be all for you, but it's not anymore. And now you're like, I don't want that. It's okay that that's ending. It's okay that it's transforming too. This could even be like the connection is transforming in a different way. Like I could see this as we used to be lovers, but now we're friends, or we used to work together and now we're going our own way to do our own thing. Or we used to feel like, we had to fall in line with a certain way of handling matters if it's like a family situation. And now this person is actually recognizing, because I had the courage to step into my power and approach them and negotiate things on my behalf and tell them what doesn't work for me, what's not acceptable, what I'm not willing to receive, that now this person is starting to see that maybe I do have a point and maybe they need to compromise with me a little bit. Yeah, there's a question here of investment. I feel like this person is studying you now. They're like, this is different than what I'm used to. I feel like it's that sort of a situation for both of you. There is something that's put on the table here. And there's a question, should I invest in this? And I don't feel like you're jumping on it. You're like, I need some time to kind of consider this. And you're looking at it from all angles. And you're exploring your options. And you're asking for some time to yourself. Something just fell away on the floor there. So I'll see what this is. Oh, well, I mean, I like this. Good for you. You're tossing away disappointment. You're also not going to hold yourself back, like bemoaning how things went in the past anymore. You've processed something into the ground, like it's done, it's dusted, you've laid it to rest. I do see you making an investment here, and there's growth in it. It's like you're considering it, but it's already sprouting. Bottom of the deck here, High Priestess. Interesting. So you're trusting your intuition. I feel like there's some opportunity coming your way here, and you're going to consider whether or not to invest in it. And I do feel like there is a pearl here. There's a gift here. I got Ilbe, the retriever, a fairy coming in here. And Ilbe helps you recover something of value that you've forgotten, you left behind, you lost it. It was lost to the past. And so this is passing through. This is like a transitory experience. This is coming through so you can claim this treasure because you're meant to carry it forward with you towards your destiny. And this person's making an offer here. They could have a strong earth placement in their chart towards Virgo Capricorn. And again, this could be working on something together, working through something together. Are you invested in maintaining this connection with me? Can we get to a place where we can work it out, where it feels good to both of us? And somebody's willing to invest in the growth of the connection. They're willing to take the actions to make it possible. They know that it's going to require time, energy. You know, it's not something that's going to transform overnight. So this could even be a real deep healing process here. But I see that somebody is willing to invest in it. And it's up to you. It's up to you. This is your energy. It's up to you. So I think you're really consolidating a lot here. You're consolidating the history of a connection, a situation, what happened in the past, not wanting to revisit those places, wanting to really be in your power, because I feel like you've already freed yourself from this. Like you're in this energy here. You're in this Queen of Wands energy. Very much in your independent power. And with the cat medicine here, it does hint that you have knowledge of secret things. You've learned a lot through doing a very deep dive into yourself. There's some kind of spiritual healing work you've already done here. You've already experienced this point of integration and empowerment, and it's really beautiful. And I think you're leaning into this strongly. You're really trusting your intuition. And I like that you're not giving an affirmative answer right off the bat, and that you're saying, give me a little space. I need to really lean into this. I need to feel this out. And I like this too, because I feel like whoever this person is, they're like, it's okay. Go ahead. Take your time. I'm here. You know where to find me, you know? So this looks good to me. I do feel like something really positive comes out of what you're negotiating here, where you both see a way to move forward with a sense of mutual respect for each other. And it looks good. It looks like something's really balanced out, but I do see you in a very strong, independent energy here. One more round just to cap this off for Cancer. Any more details about this for Cancer? I love this. You got free of some holding pattern. There could be a child connected to this situation. Okay, that could be what you're negotiating about, especially if you share a child with this person, or if this is a family member, you're the child of this person you're negotiating things with. This could be a parent you're trying to sort things out with, right? Or other family members, siblings, okay? I do feel like a learning cycle is opening up here, you know, and it does look like there's investment it does look like there's investment. Is somebody here has good intentions with the Page of Wands, strong Sagittarian energy. This could be a Sagittarius that has strong earth placements, or is somebody who's a little bit older, wiser. They may be more optimistic about possibilities than you are in the situation. They feel like they got a bit of a philosophical view. They panned out on a situation and they can view it from a different angle. And there's something for both to learn here, but to take advantage of this opportunity does mean facing some fears. I see that, okay? And there can be tricky elements involved, but it looks like, I mean, somebody's really willing to lead the charge with this. That's what it looks like. One more round. One more round. Is Cancer going to invest in this? Is Cancer willing to invest in this? I mean, it looks like an openness to learn, an openness to explore. It just looks more like there needs to be a full recognition that what happened back there, we're not going to do that again. If you want to revive this, we need to move forward in a new way. It has to work in such a way where it's beneficial for all of us. And if there's a child involved in this situation, that is your central focus. I see that. That's what's really important here. And this is the crossing energy. Okay, I do feel like you will move forward. There's a positive transformation that happens here. It comes in with the Eight of Wands, but it's not here yet. So I would say that this is going to take some time to sort out. But I do feel that within a couple of months here, there's a clear way to move forward. We got butterflies hanging out here, so there could be an air sign energy in the mix here. That might be a factor in play. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, okay? And so that might be what's needing to balance out here. There might be some kind of family dynamic or group dynamic, something that needs to factor in multiple variables here that can be a bit complicating. Yeah, and there's suspicion here, okay? There is with the Seven of Swords. I do feel like somebody feels like, you know, there's trust issues here. They don't want to get stabbed in the back, all right? And I think that's why there's the reticence. So it's definitely challenging territory. Let me do a cut the deck here. I don't see you acting on this, like taking a real strong action, having a definitive decision here for a couple of months. But do look for this process to be set in motion. I think negotiations are opening up around this. Got Nine of Swords. Leo energy here, okay? Past energy as well. The past haunts. There's a real strong desire to not have a repeat of the past in relation to this situation. If you're a Cancer, Leo, Cusper, that's coming out real strongly for you. But look at this. There's the hope of the star here. I feel like if you take your time with it, probably by the time you arrive in Aquarius season, right around the time of that ring of fire, I think there's a way through. But there's absolutely a need for reflection. There's a need to cleanse away the old energy. There's a need for healing. And I do feel like there is a message that comes in here. It brings hope. It brings love back into the mainframe. It also secures the happiness of the star. So something really comes through here that does get set right when all's said and done, right? That's what's hiding behind the fear. So I feel like you might be in this space right now where you feel like you're really on the other side of something, but a little still lingers. And you might be ready to take a step to completely clear that out once and for all by really laying your cards on the table, like facing something squarely. You've done kind of like all you can do on your own to heal this. And now I feel like there's a need to enter into more of negotiation with the past. That's how it's coming through. I do think it turns out well in the end, all right? There is some kind of transformation that happens here, but it takes time. It takes time. And I do think by you taking a strong action and not just readily going along with somebody else's game plan, acquiescing to their demands, really telling them, hey, I need time to feel out what's right for me, understanding what's important to you, but showing receptivity. You know, I'm willing to explore, but I'm not going to sign on the dotted line just yet. You might be really surprised how it changes that person's perception of you and how better you work together in the future on whatever level you're working things out here. So that is really good, Cancer. All right. And closing out, Libra coming in at 154.37. Ooh, Libra. Something's about to change for you. You're not moving forward alone. That's what I feel. I feel like you've been walking a road on your own. You broke from the path. There's been times where you just had the light you were building in your heart to guide you forward. You were trusting your heart. There may have been times when it felt isolating, but I also feel like you chose to go your own way based on the wisdom you had gleaned from the past. And I don't think that move was an error, because there is a wheel of fortune turning for you now. Something is about to shift. And I feel where you've been moving forward alone, there's a traveling companion here. There's somebody who wants to share that road with you. That's how it is coming through. Let's see what is coming in here for Libra in the lead up to that Scorpio new moon. What is coming in for Libra in the lead up to the Scorpio new moon? What is coming in for Libra? Bottom of the deck. Ooh, 6 of Wands, Libra. That's a hell of a way to start out. Okay, so there is some success assured here. And I like that. You know, I'm seeing that wand that he's holding there. It's reminding me of the staff that hermit carries, you know, going forward on the road alone. And now there's others joining here. There's a conflict that's being left behind. I feel like you took the right action. Maybe you walked away from a conflict. I see somebody else here is separating themselves from a conflict too. They want to join you. They're close behind. I see that. You see? There's the one staff here that's separated from the rest of the group here. Okay, so something has been foundationally shifted in this situation. Somebody could have also broken free from a living situation. Maybe they're moving. Okay. There's some kind of movement forward here, though. There's some kind of success. You took the right action in this situation. And this action is what ultimately leads you to some kind of stability, some kind of sense of belonging, maybe somebody else who gets where you're coming from. I feel like the road is opening for two. That's what it feels like. Okay, let's get some more details about this. Where is this success coming from? There is the correct foundation in place for this successful culmination point, whatever this is. There's somebody who's joining you in this success. Capricorn also had 6 of Wands, so there could be a Capricorn connection here. Let's see what's coming in here for Libra. What's coming in here for Libra? Ooh, what fell on the ground there? There's a couple things that fell on the ground there. Ooh, but interesting. Oh, wow. Okay, there's some interesting energy here. Well, okay, let me see what fell away on the ground here. Page of Swords, 3 of Swords fell on the ground, fell face down on the ground. So there's something here that's been operating subversively, that's been creating a lot of delay, separation, heartache. And I feel like this is something that you're about to discover. It's like this element that's been causing complication. Also, it's something that's been really burdensome with the 10 of Wands. I think you were in the dark about this. You felt that there were burdens, but maybe you weren't sure what was creating these complications. There's absolutely somebody who's been operating on a hidden level in this situation. And I do feel like this is no longer going to have an impact. It's being cast aside. This is really interesting because there's like this energy here of somebody holding all the power in a situation, and there's two here that see eye to eye, right? There's something that's been out of balance and something is being brought into balance here. And it looks like it's opening up the road to the Fool. But there's somebody here trying to catch up. See, this is sort of coming in like this. It's a little bit of coming out of a cross position. Aquarian energy, Aries energy, got like Pathfinder medicine here. I do feel like you're getting ready to leap into a brand new beginning. Something is in the process of being balanced out. Something that was really burdensome. Something that weighed you down. Something that was eroding your situation beneath the surface, okay? This was hidden. There also may be somebody that's strategizing right now. You're not aware that they're strategizing how to find a way in, how to open the door where the door has been shut. Okay, I can see that too. They want to end a separation here. You could have walked away from this situation too because you just felt like there wasn't an alignment there. I can almost see this as like a reflection of your past. Like the only way for me to have balance with this in the past was if I was on my knees, you know, and I've risen above that. So it's sort of like looking back at past reflections of yourself, maybe even one another. This could be a past connection coming around again. Let's see what this is. Whatever this is, it's been burdensome. I also feel like you've been working really hard at something. It's been weighing you down, but you're almost there, okay? So follow through. Don't stop now. You're closer to success with something than you think you are. Your road is just about to open here. And there have been some sabotaging elements in the mix that have made things harder than they need to be. And I do feel like there's been imbalances in power in this situation, but I do feel like there is a way to see a new way forward here that comes in with that new moon. And I think whatever this is, when it arrives on the scene, it's not here yet. You'll be ready to just fully leap into it. Looks like your heart's open. You're ready to dive into it. It's funny. Yeah, I think whatever's been causing some holdups in this situation has got a little heat on its butt. It reminds me of the ginger, right? It's that same energy of the Monopoly dice man where he's running all the way to the bank, right? But look, it's the same energy of the Fool. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the situation needs, man. It needs a little heat. You might want to do some spiritual cleansing, Libra. Work with ginger. Okay, it'll be beneficial. Ginger has the ability to clear out heavy energy. It has the ability to cut through a lot of stagnation, a lot of what's been held up. It's a good road opener, but it also brings in a little sweetness. It's magnetizing, so it has some light building qualities to it too. It's not just good for cleansing things away and putting heat on situations that have been maybe they've been simmering, but it's like time to turn the heat up a little bit. Like let's get this cooking, you know, time to move something forward a little bit more quickly here, you know, because this load's getting really heavy to carry. That's what I feel. It's like 10 of Wands is difficult here. Yeah, and you know that there's been something operating here that's been wearing a mask, that's been creating a lot of holdups. It's got like a skeksis kind of vibe here, you know. There is a hidden force here that's been creating quite a bit of glamour. It's been causing some endings, but it's been hidden. And I feel like you're figuring out what this element is. You're going to be successful with this. I know this. Even now, you're already in the process of being prepared to head into a brand new cycle here, a brand new chapter. It's brewing with the new moon in Scorpio there. More details about this. More details about this. So far, just real strong Aries, Aquarian energy, Libra rising, Leo rising, Three of Cups. So this is interesting because the singers have been coming in really strongly for me recently, especially she of the Crook. And that's a bit of that miraculous chalice energy. But I feel like you're working with the singers of creation at this time, the singers of fairy, and she of the Crook specifically. So there's something that's pouring in here for you. It's something that's filling your cup first. And it does have the impression of some kind of creative inspiration. It's almost like this flood of creativity is filling you to the point that it's demanding you take action on it. And this could even be a way that you're just feeling guided to move differently toward your objective that actually heals what's been holding you back. It's the creative way around a holdup here. And it's quite clever, actually. And with this, also with this Page of Swords being face down, this may be something that you've been brewing here too. I could see something you've been working on. It's very concealed. It's under wraps. And in fact, you may even be casting somewhat of an impression like, oh, I'm down for the count, you know, never mind me, when actually there's something brewing here. There's something that is about to be launched. There's something that's about to take off here. And with this, ooh, your destiny. We've got the King of Swords coming in right there with your medicine, Raven medicine there. It's a bit of magic which you're pulling off here. You're able to pull the sword from the stone. You got what it takes to do this. You are taking this action. So I like this. There's something quite magical that's brewing here. You're taking a leap of faith. You're trusting how you're being guided here. And you're working with creative energy. This creative energy brings about some kind of celebration because it opens the road for you. You're discovering the path that you're meant to step upon here. I do feel like there's somebody else that's pulling away from a conflict or a drama, and they're joining you on this road. There's two of you. It's like victory for two. There's alignment coming in. Something very healing happening here as well. After a time of lack, a time of loss, like the two of you perhaps have felt at a loss in this situation. Page of Cups, bottom of the deck. But here's an invitation coming in. Somebody's extending an invitation. Piscean energy. Piscean energy here. What's this Five of Pentacles about? Give me more details about this Five of Pentacles for Libra. Crossing energy. King of Pentacles. Whoo! To the Queen of Pentacles. Wow. So there's partnership here. This is tangible. This is you coming into alignment with somebody who is willing to invest in you. And wow, look at that. There is the Four of Wands. There's the alignment. There's the celebratory moment of arrival. There's some kind of victory here. You got the fairy planning this. This came out in your read for your solar return quest read. This is coming into view. Whatever this is, it takes you out of a position of lack. There's growth here. There's mutual investment here. This is very solid. This is some type of committed partnership, committed relationship here with the Four of Wands. This is somebody who doesn't want to be separated. This is somebody who doesn't want to be out in the cold anymore. This is somebody who's willing to be put out in the cold. Maybe excluded from a certain social group or fall out with their family or whatever this may be, whatever was inhibiting this partnering. Somebody's like, I'm going to join you there. Like, I'm willing to, you know, put myself in that position too. And there's mutual investment here. This is very strong. This could also be a business partnership too, because there was that piece about you having like some kind of creative inspiration. Maybe you've been facing unfair competition, or it's just been really hard to get any traction with what you're trying to build here. There's been some kind of oppositional force. And it does look like it's been a hidden element. But somebody here sees your value and they're willing to invest. And I feel like the partnering of energies, wow, something really grows here. There's mutual investment and it pays off. Yeah, the 2 to the 5, right? The 2 to the 5, 7. There's mutual investment here. And in this investment, there's growth. There is like some kind of success here, an arrival point. Big time. It's like getting the keys to the kingdom. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, give me more details about this partnership energy. What is this for Libra? What is this for Libra? Wow, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Somebody is ready to really root something here. Knight of Pentacles. They're willing to lay down the foundation, right? This is a legit offer. Now, with the Page of Cups that came in on the bottom of the deck, there's emotion here too. There is a sense of, how can I put this? There is a sense of loyalty there. There is a sense of affinity. This could be some kind of creative partnership. This could be something you're partnering with a friend. This could be somebody who wants to unite with you in a committed relationship too. There could be all of those indications on the board. Maybe there's all of it. There's something that's being rooted here. It absolutely has the sense of growth comes from this, right? Not just on an emotional level, but there's something that grows in the material realm as well. And I mean, this is what you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for this. And you're ready to enter this waterway. And this is the river that carries you forward to the source for sure. 3 of Wands. But notice you're on the cliff here. So there's a leap of faith. And with the Page of Cups energy, sometimes there can be a little bit of suspicion here. You know, like, I'm not sure. So I do feel like you have some questions. Maybe because you felt a sense of abandonment in relation to this before, or you lost big in some way, or you felt cut off, or you felt cast aside, something like that, okay? Not recognized, not valued, not appreciated. Like all of these energies can be factoring into this situation. But there's something healing here. And I do feel like the singers are calling this in. The singers are also working with you to open up the heart space. That may have been a part of you that you shut down because you felt isolated, alone. Oh yeah, for sure. With the 2 of Swords, you definitely were like, don't bother me, leave me alone. I just want to, you know, be by myself for a while. I do think you needed that. It was necessary. You might still be in this space because I do see that new moon energy hanging out there. So I think you're still integrating some things. But the sun is coming into view here. Wow. There's happiness. There's success on the horizon. I mean, certainly if you've been working on something, I see a lot of like Pentacles reference here. And there's absolutely like a creative energy here. There's a lot about laboring for something, working really hard on something, wondering, are we there yet? You know? Well, here comes the Chariot that gets you to Ragnarok. There's happiness here. There is. You're getting your moment in the sun. It's like the happy ending to this particular tale. And now a new story opens with the Fool. It's like, okay, we finally made it through the prequel. Now it's time for the sequel. That's what I feel. There's been like a little bit of a review here. Okay. So where you're in the dark right now and you're wondering, are we there yet? The sun's about to break through. And there could be a Leo connection here. All right. It could be a Leo connection here. It could be something that really you recognize what gets set in motion here. You recognize that it was worth the investment and the way it's paid off by the time you arrive at the Leo full moon on February 1st. That's when this really like lights up your world, I feel. Ooh. Okay, one more round and then I'm going to do a cut the deck, cap this off. A lot of earth energy here, some fire energy here. I think this is something that's really happening though, you know, in material reality. This is something that's ready to manifest and it's directly connected to your destiny. So there's something you're pulling off here despite the obstacles, despite the challenges, despite the lean times. I know you've dealt with lean times here. I know there's times too where you felt isolated on your own, where you felt like you were lacking what you needed, where you felt burdened in the dark, you felt heartache. Ooh, wow, look at this. You're coming into alignment with somebody who is the sun to your moon. This is sun-moon synergy. We've been talking about this. So this is beautiful. Counterpart energy here. The moon, we got Piscean energy coming in here. There's a 7 of Cups there on the bottom of the deck, okay? So there might still be some cloaked elements, things that need to be seen through, brought into the light of day in relation to this, right? And then we got the Queen of Cups here. But I do feel it's possible because I got that She of the Kruak energy. So there is like this miraculous chalice that you hold here. And there is a way through. Okay. There is a way through. And the way through is the heart space here. So I feel like the heart really needs to open up again. There needs to be some demasking here, though, of what has been concealed in this situation that's been causing some kind of confusion. All right? You're going to have to lean into your intuition with this. This is all about moving from the heart space. We know that whatever is heading towards you is motivated by their heart and willing to do the work because you had that Knight of Cups energy. You have the Knight of Pentacles here too. There is a new chapter opening here. There is a way to find healing in this situation, celebration, alignment. And it does require you to open your heart. Because I think of the Queen of Cups in most decks has the cup closed, but the cup's open here, okay? So this is bringing in the elemental energy too. There's what's needed to nurture future growth is coming in here. But first, something needs to be revealed because it's been concealed. And I feel like that's coming soon. That's coming soon. What's behind this? I want to know what's behind what's been confusing or illusory. The Queen of Wands. Wow, look at that. Okay. There could be like a third person that's been in the mix, potentially stirring the pot because it is coming in with the energy of secret things. Absolutely, that's what this is. Leo energy. There's where the Leo energy is coming in, okay? So what was the third element in a situation that was concealed is being revealed. That's what I feel. It's something that's been cloaked, but maybe you sensed it, okay? But I know it's coming up and out because whatever this is, it does allow you to pull the sword from the stone. Like you have this truth and there's some kind of alignment that comes in here for you. And this alignment puts you in harmony with your destiny. And there's some action that's taken here that makes things very definitive, okay? Also, I feel like this is you alchemizing something as well. You know, this is really the energy, because we had the sword suit come out, we've had the pentacles suit come out, we've had the wand suit come out, the cups. So this is also the integration of all these different aspects of yourself. It's the journey of stepping into that rebirth of Venus energy, the journey of stepping into the Empress or the Emperor, okay? Because that's why there's so many suit cards showing up here too. People often forget that when doing readings where all the court cards are on the board. You have to master the lessons of all the different suits in order to step into your power as Empress or Emperor. So I see this too. You're reclaiming a bit of power from the past experiences, and through demasking what has been a confusing element or a sabotaging force here that allows you to really come into your heart and receive what wants to come in to fill that space. I see that too. Right? It's a tower, right? There is an awakening moment here as the foundation of the matter. But see, there's just one here. There's just one here getting cast out of the tower. And the tower isn't coming down. There's just one being ousted. So there could have been some kind of element here that has been concealed that was operating in such a way that it was sabotaging what wanted to grow here. And this is being discovered. It's being demasked, right? And in being demasked, then there is a way to move something forward because the confusion is scattered, you know? It no longer is creating such a cloaking energy, covering everything, making it impossible to see a way through, right? But there is an awakening moment here, like something is being revealed. And I feel that's what's shocking. That's what's shocking. What has been sabotaging the situation may be shocking. It could even be a certain aspect of you that you're discovering. You're like, oh my gosh, like, how could I not see it before? But once you see it, like everything's set right, whatever this is. Whatever this is. Okay, cut of the deck to cap this off. Got the Hermit here. So yes, you got the light you need to move forward in wisdom. There's something that's been alchemized here. I mean, I do feel like this is the energy of really stepping into the fruition of that Merlin signature. It's like you're cast onto the shore as that great bard Taliesin, and something transforms here. And perhaps that's who you're coming into alignment with. We got the Page of Wands here who's joining. So isn't that interesting? It's like somebody's ready to join the road with you. So we got Sagittarian energy here coming in with Virgoan energy. Virgo here really coming in representing that South Node energy. So somebody's going through a major transformation here, and it's moving you both into expansion. You're working together on this path to bring something to fruition, and you might be quite surprised how this turns out. I think there's a tower with it. It's a little bit shocking. There's been a lot that's been concealed here, but I think this is kind of coming through as you might be really surprised who is connected to your destiny and who's joining you on the road to that stargate that arrives on the 17th of February in Aquarius. Really potent. Interesting. All right. A lot of interesting elements in play, tricky elements in play. It does look like for the cardinal signs, you're through the bulk of it, you know. You really are. And there's some last details here. I think there are some surprises ahead. And there's some executive decisions that need to be made, but I think you'll handle it just fine. Looks like it turns out all well in the end. So, Godspeed, my friends.